Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I like to discuss the latest clown show as Rishi Sunak thought he spied an opportunity to rush out an emergency press conference only to get spectacularly owned by a journalist. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So, actually, this is about channels. So, Rishi Sunak organised a press conference earlier today. I say organised, what I really mean is hastily arranged, because this was not planned. According to Adam Bienkov of Byline Times, it was only announced yesterday. And yet, actually, if you look at it, look at a photo of it, it looks like it wasn't even planned from yesterday. Like, a Monday press conference is not that unusual. It happens. It's the reason you usually put it out is because the government have got a major policy announcement, or they're even presenting some figures to highlight the success of an existing policy. You know, having this press conference on Monday allows you to sort of capture the news for that week. In theory, this press conference was the latter. It was to present, the success of a supposed policy. Sunak was bigging up the improved boat crossing numbers. Oh, he's down 20%. Is it marvellous? It proves my plan is working. And then you think to yourself, so why is it hastily arranged? After all, stopping the boats was one of his 5 pledges at the start of the year. Surely the government would be all over any figures which can allow them to spin any of their 5 pledge policy areas in a positive light, and that's what they were trying to do today. But an ITV journalist appears to be really on the ball. So Sunak was claiming boat crossings are down 20%. Now, if we think back to Sunak's New Year pledge, what his pledge actually was to introduce legislation to stop the boats. But not only does the legislation do nothing useful, it hasn't been passed yet. Now, his plan was to introduce legislation to stop the boats. He hasn't done that yet. So if boat crossings are down and by a whacking 20%, it's got nothing to do with your plan, is it? Because your plan was to use legislation to achieve this. So what caused it? Well, like I say, an ITV journalist present knew exactly what was going on. They noted it's been exceptionally windy in the channel lately, hasn't it, Prime Minister? This has made small boat crossings much more hazardous. So obviously crossing numbers were going down. You know, they do. The crossing numbers, it's not constant. It goes up in the better weather and down in the poorer weather. And the journalist asked the Prime Minister, is that why you've come here today? Sunak didn't really have an answer to this one. He said he can control many things, but not the weather. I mean, I had 2 thoughts to that. First of all, what are these many things that Sunak thinks he can control? Because whenever he's asked about any of them, he always says, oh, that's not my fault. Oh, it's to do with this person or that event or the woke mob or something like that. So what are the things he can control? Can we have some examples? But the second one, if he can't control the weather, why is he trying to claim credit for the consequences of it? You know, Sunak had earlier tried to show that his plan was working. You know, the earlier questions was all about, oh, this proves our plan's working. And he based it, when he was asked about this, he based it on the fact, well, actually, you'll see refugee numbers. He didn't call them refugees. We know what they call them. But refugee numbers were increasing in Europe. And it's like, well, that's ridiculous false equivalence because the route is different. But after saying that the numbers prove his plan is working and then seemingly having to acknowledge that the numbers are down to the weather and then saying he can't control the weather, he hasn't got a secret weather machine, what are we to take away? If we distill the answers to all of his questions, what are we to take away? These figures show that our plan is working, but the reduction is down to recent bad weather in the channel. Yes, but I can't control the weather. So how do these figures show your plan is working? Any other questions? And what happens when the numbers go back up again this summer, as they always do? And never mind this summer, what about next summer? What happens when he tries to play the same trick next year, general election year? He'll wait for another period when numbers naturally go down due to the weather or something else. Then arrange, what's he going to do? Arrange another cack-handed press conference. Then, if the Tories really are wanting an autumn election, and I will keep saying I find that very doubtful, but if they do, there's going to be another summer of increasing numbers. Because it is, to a significant part, seasonal. But also look at this. Look at him. Look at the way he is at this press conference. I know I said the press conference was hastily arranged. And, I've sometimes rushed to do an emergency video. I mean, in theory, this is one of them. I hadn't planned to do this. But get a load of this. This is Rishi Sunak at the press conference. What on earth does he look like? Look at his feet. He's in nice smart shirt. Not done up, but nice smart shirt, nice smart trousers. Missing the rest of the suit, fine. But then work boots on his feet. Now, I can only assume this is because he was somewhere where he needed those boots. Maybe he was on a construction site or something. It sort of looks like he's in a garage anyway. But surely he had his shoes with him as well. He's not been going around with those clodhoppers all day, has he? He'll have his shoes in his car or something. He's turning up in an unbuttoned shirt and work boots with your nice trousers. Doesn't give the impression of in control, does it? In control of events. It is almost like he was on a building site or something. And one of his aides said, "Oh, the channel's been a bit choppy, Prime Minister. Let's get out and tell people that your plan to stop the boats is working." Oh, righto. Shall I just go to the car and get my shoes and tie? No time, Prime Minister. The channel might calm again in a few minutes. You'll have missed your opportunity. An absolute clown show. Now, I don't want to pick on the sartorial choices of politicians. Different people have their own styles, and that's fine. I'm not one to point fingers. But this isn't having a pop at Sunak over his style, because this isn't his style. If he was known for wearing unbuttoned shirts, I don't know, maybe with a provocative medallion or something, with formal trousers and poorly tied work boots, no problem. If that's his thing, I don't care as long as he's getting the job done, which he's also not. But this isn't Sunak's style, which means that this press conference was rushed in order to grab an opportunity. Now, politics is very much about opportunism, but this was so badly carried out as to be quite unbelievable. I mean, I say unbelievable, is it? I was only recently saying, it might have been earlier today, in fact, that Rishi Sunak, this is him all over. He's just really bad at presenting himself to the public. He's awkward. Doesn't know how to even give the impression of being grounded or sincere. Oh, I've got working class friends. Oh, well, not working class friends, of course. And never mind a piss up in a brewery, he can't even sort himself out for a quick press conference. Something senior politicians do all the time. And if they announced it yesterday, they'd at least planned it for one day. Absolute clown. And this is the most credible leader the party of government have, is it? This is the best that a majority of MPs can come up with. What a state for your country to be in. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.